Time. There's never enough time. And as you get older, you are more conscious of time. The constant tick-tock of your destiny getting ever closer. Hold on. Okay, so time is precious, and you would think being retired, I'd have oodles of it. So why has it taken nearly a month since our last video? At the moment we're finalising and mixing our first EP. We're writing and recording a new album. We've started looking at our first music video production, and after a couple of meetings with our team, we've spent a bit of time creating a concept storyboard.
Hard times is getting older.
I'm producing a separate album with Vern. I'm also producing an EP for another friend of mine, Andrew. We've also been having some building works done, and the installation of aircon. And there's something else. Oh yes, creating videos for this here YouTube channel, which is killing our music production. And that, my friends, is the reason for this video. You see, this YouTube production process probably takes more time than all the other music production stuff that I do. So for example, deciding on the topics, preparing the script, deciding what to film, setting up for filming, setting up for sound, transferring the large video format files, editing, rendering, uploading. It's endless. And instead I could do more of what I love doing, which is writing, recording and producing music. But we made a commitment to document our journey, and we're sticking with it. If you want to help and follow our journey, please hit that like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. It really does help, and it gives us encouragement that you guys are interested in what we're up to. So before we do anything, we shall turn the kit off. One area where we could help save time is the performance of this little black box, the studio computer. So in order to pull this out a bit further, I need to disconnect this amp. So just to be clear, our studio computer is absolutely fine as a music production machine. We have an i7-4790 chip, 32 gig of DDR3 RAM. We have several SSD drives, which I call my working drives, and an external drive for storage and backup. However, we only have a 3 GB VRAM graphics card, which is more than adequate for handling our monitor arrangement, but is not adequate enough for video production. So that, amongst other things, is what we are going to deal with today. So as part of this upgrade, we're going to sort this out. We're going to sort these drives out, and we're going to change the graphics card, and we're going to install a new USB 3.2 PCIe card. Here are the issues. Once we've shot video, we need to upload it to the computer. At the moment, I'm using this card reader, which for some reason isn't very quick. We then use DaVinci Resolve to edit the video And that's not working well on this computer either. It's very jumpy. Then we need to render the complete edit, and at the moment it's taking something like 3 to 4 minutes of render time per minute of video. So we're looking at some computer updates. Not the most exciting stuff, I grant you, but it's all part of this journey we're on, and shows some of the considerations that need to be made when setting off on these types of projects. So some speed tests first, and don't worry, these will either be time-lapsed or we'll jump through them. I want to check the transfer speed of some of the MVI files from the card reader to the F drive, and also some GoPro files. I then wanted to check the transfer of the same files from the F drive to the external drive. As part of the upgrade, I'm installing another 2 TB SSD drive for backup and storage. So let's test the transfer speeds between SSD drives. Finally, we are going to test the render speed of our last video with the existing graphic card, which was not that old chestnut, which was about which comes first, EQ or compression. And we'll see if we can reduce the glitches we currently have while editing. So now we have our benchmarks, let's get to upgrading this beast. The first issue I want to sort out is these transfer rates between the computer and both the card reader and external drive. So for a small investment, I bought this PCIe USB card. It has 3 USB 3.2 Type A and 2 USB Type C ports. Now I know the motherboard's PCIe bus won't run at 3.2 USB transfer rates, but it should work at 3.0 speeds. However, having installed it and tried the transfers again, the speed was identical. Then I realised my stupid mistake. I was using a USB 2.0 extension cable. By plugging both the card reader and the external drive directly into the USB ports, bypassing the extension cable, it literally doubled the speed. Next was the graphics card. Again, because of the motherboard's specification, it would be a waste of money at this point going for one of the new 40 series graphics card. One day we will upgrade the motherboard and chipset, but for now I just wanted a quicker graphics card. So we went for the MSI GeForce RTX 3060 with 12 GB of VRAM, which should be plenty powerful enough for our needs. So after installing it, I ran a render test in DaVinci, and bugger me, it took exactly the same time. What the f*** was going on? Having checked again online, I found this little nugget of information tucked away in the backroom filing cabinets of the internet. The free version of DaVinci Resolve does not use the graphics accelerators.
Give me a break.
Only the paid version uses the graphics card, so having spent a few $100 on a graphics card without upgrading DaVinci, it was a waste of money. In Blackmagic's favour, they're the company that publishes DaVinci Resolve. They have a one-off charge for a lifetime license, but more importantly, a lifetime of upgrade. So, well worth the investment. Having purchased DaVinci Resolve, we then carried out another render test, and wow! We went from over 25 minutes of render time with the old graphics card to just over 5 minutes with the new one. Okay, well, this morning's job is to try and put all this back together. let's crack on. So, getting too old for this shit. Okay. So another huge time saver is that when editing, the editing process is a lot smoother. Before, when we were trying to establish a cut point, the image froze and stuttered, so you were never sure how good the transition was. And in general, the editing process was so much slower. Now, because the full 12 gigabytes of graphic card VRAM is being utilised instead of just the CPU, the editing process is smoother, clearer and much, much faster. Display port. I think people, where is that? So there we have it, a few upgrades, a bit of investment, and hopefully we can spend a little less time on YouTube production and a bit more time on music production, and hopefully getting the final stages of the mix series completed for Hard Times. There's a link to that playlist coming on screen shortly. So thank you for your valuable time.